Ciao,
Ciao.
tutti! Welcome back to another episode of the Italianforawhile podcast. Today we're back with Erika. Ciao, Erika.
Ciao.
And today's topic is gap years aren't always perfect, and that's okay just the way it is.
And it really is. They're not perfect. They're full of challenges, sometimes little problems, but at the end they're perfect as they are.
Yes,
I'm perfectly perfect.
Exactly. I like this expression, I'm perfectly perfect. Gap years, I'm perfectly perfect.
That's beautiful.
Bellissimo.
It's exactly what a gap year is.
Esatto, exactly. And today we're gonna talk about this. First of all, I'm back with Erika because we both had some little episodes that we're gonna share with you in a bit about like things that could have worked better or in a different way while we were doing our gap experiences
Yes,
abroad.
we did.
Yes, and so we're gonna share these with you. And spoiler, like to the question that Erika asked me like a while ago that actually made me think and realize that we had to do this episode. The question was, what do you actually remember of your gap year?
Should I answer or should you answer?
We both answered like,
The most beautiful moments.
exactly, like mainly, mostly, only basically.
And also some little problems, but because they turned out to be some kind of fun somehow.
yeah, in the end, like when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, remember the time that bad thing happened?
And you just start laughing because
Yes, exactly.
it was a huge problem at the moment, but then you realize how stupid it all was.
Exactly. So,
Most of the times.
Yes. So the main point for today's episode is to talk about what a lot of our students are worried about at the beginning, which is like they have this idea that their gap experience is gonna be like this perfect moment, and then maybe they arrive here and like especially in the first weeks something really small happens and they're like, oh my god, this is not like what I was expecting. This
And why
not
is
how-"
that? Because of
Yeah.
social medias. Because we only see like the beautiful parts of gap years. That's what people like to share.
Of
And
course.
it's normal, you only share the good moments.
Of course.
And then you end up browsing and scrolling on your Instagram and you see, that's beautiful, whoa, Italy's beautiful, whoa, he took a gelato, whoa, he's drinking coffee. And then you come here and you miss your train. And that's normal. I mean, I miss my train all the time. So why shouldn't someone that doesn't even speak Italian
Yeah.
on the very first day in Italy miss it?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's like very small things, especially in the first weeks, as
Yeah.
we said, because you're overwhelmed, you're far from home, you still haven't studied Italian or like...
Maybe you studied it for like
Yeah,
a few
maybe
months,
just a
just
little
in
bit.
preparation for coming here.
Yeah, exactly. And so you're like, whatever you experience is like amplified.
It's overwhelming
It's
somehow.
overwhelming. Exactly. And so you're already like feeling, oh my god, did I take the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Am I in the right place?
Were people writing telling me that I shouldn't have come to Italy? My parents, maybe they didn't even want them to come to Italy and they were like, yeah, just don't worry, it's going to be the best time of my life. And then you come here and you're like overwhelmed and say, God, I really shouldn't have done it.
Yeah, exactly. But we're here today to tell them that, spoiler,
It's okay.
It's okay. It's never gonna be that way.
And
So-
it's always like this. Don't trust the influencers. They only show the good things.
Exactly.
And they have their problems too. So just trust your gut and live your life, basically.
Exactly. So basically we're here today to answer the $1 million question that our students ask us before coming here. Like, did I take the right decision? Like,
Is it
I'm
going to be
panicking.
worth it?
Is it going to be worth it? Like, what if something happens? So we have been through it. And
Yes,
so,
we have.
Yeah, and so our answer is something
Yes.
might happen, but it's still going to be okay.
And it's going to be worth it.
Absolutely, exactly. So I would say, Erika, please, since I invited you here today for this episode, please let us know which were the biggest like challenges that you experienced during your gap experience.
Okay, it kind of sounds stupid, okay, when I think about it right now.
Of course.
So
that's the
because
whole point.
it really was stupid. So, you know, I went to China. So I arrived I got out of the airport. I found somehow a bus to actually arrive to the university. Thank God, Julian, she took us to the university, like the greatest girl ever. We arrived there. We fought a little bit with the people at the counter to actually get our rooms, and then I entered my room. Because, as you know, I was not in a family, I was in a college. So, college life, beautiful. And basically, I opened the door, and what happened was that me, as well as all the other people coming with me, started crying because it was terrible. It was the most unhygienic thing that I actually seen in my life. And I was already prepared for it because I'd already been to China. I'd already seen the most horrible spaces in the streets. And we closed the doors, went sitting outside, and you could see like this group of 5 people, like 4 girls and a really tough guy, like the one that's so strong, that was protecting us. And we were there sitting, looking like this.
What am I gonna do now?
Why am I here? So the point is, we needed to find a solution because there was a room and we had like an afternoon to clean it up, all of it. And we exited the university, got to the closest supermarket.
Oh my God.
We bought everything,
Of
like
course.
thousands of yuan in buying stuffs to clean the rooms, like literally from the, from alcohol to everything. And then we went back to the room and
You just
cleaning started. However, it was not spraying. So we started cleaning and we spent like, I think 5 hours non-stop cleaning with everything outside the rooms.
Wow.
And there we were cleaning and taking a pause, and then someone coming us and telling us, do you think it's clean enough? Can I sleep on this bed? And we were like, no, keep on cleaning, keep on cleaning.
Oh my God.
Then we actually managed to make it, livable. And then I opened the curtains. And when I opened the curtains, this huge, like this big, okay? It was this
I'm
big.
sure it wasn't this big.
No,
but
it was this big. This moth, it fell right down.
Ooh.
And then you could hear my scream.
Oh my
like
God.
all over the campus, I believe.
Oh my
Me
God.
running outside, yelling at at the boy that actually came with us, Daniel!
Oh my God.
Come here. He took it and he was like, ugh.
Oh my God.
Threw it outside. We went to sleep. And then at 2 a.m. I woke up because my roommate, she woke up, opened the light, turned on the light, and she kept on cleaning.
No, at 2 a.m.
At 2 a.m. She
Oh my
couldn't
God.
sleep because she was still not like, she felt it was not clean enough yet.
Of course.
And so at 2 a.m. I was there saying, please, I want to sleep. And she was like, no, I'm cleaning.
Oh my God. But you see, like, these, like, now you're laughing so much remembering these, but of course, like, when you were there in that moment, I remember you told me, like, you cried, your roommates were crying.
Everybody was crying.
Everybody
and
was
it was
crying.
also because, we didn't sleep on the airplane.
Of course.
We started
The
like
time
at
zone
11 a.m. in Italy and we arrived there at probably 12 p.m. So it was still day. And we didn't get like 1 hour of sleep. And we were in China in a part where they didn't actually speak the dialect we learned. You learn Mandarin in school. Mm-hmm. And there they spoke this absolute unintelligible dialect that you had to learn. And I actually learned it after all that.
Of course, but right away, like,
moving
in the
around,
moment-
having to find my room, having to find the closest supermarket, buying things, clean, it was overwhelming.
Oh my God, I can imagine.
And
But
it's stupid.
no, I mean, it's not stupid. Like, it's the proof of what we're trying to say. Like, now you're laughing, but back then you were like, oh my God,
I want to go back
why
home.
am I here? Exactly. But also, like, what I want to highlight from this thing is that you guys were all proactive, you know?
Yeah, we had no other choice than
No,
to
I
be
mean,
proactive.
there's always
I think.
another choice. You could have stayed there, like, cried.
Oh yeah, we
like,
could.
just say I want to go back, or like go like to complain and ask to the reception, whatever, to like just go clean, find me a solution, change me residency,
Actually,
whatever.
we could have, but we didn't do it because.
Yeah, I mean, it would have
Who
been like
knows? I
such a
don't-
longer process, but like no, you just decided to handle things and just to be proactive. And I think this is also what makes a huge difference.
You know, the funniest thing after this is that 1 week later, people from another Italian university came, and we met them on their very first day, and they went through exactly the same thing. But one girl was also, she lost her passport in the taxi.
Ouch.
So we were there trying to help them. However, we took them to the supermarket, we called the taxis, and we're like, yeah, I know the company, we used it to go there. Don't worry, I'm going to help you. So it was also helpful to other people.
Of course.
Because we went through it.
Of course, absolutely. Like, this is another important thing. Like, whenever you go through some stuff and you're abroad, then you feel like you need to share this kind of knowledge that you have acquired to other people that you meet that are in the same situation as you. So it could be like a roommate, it could be someone like that is studying with you, it could be someone that you randomly meet on the street.
Yeah, it helps you also to create a stronger group.
Yeah.
And it was only Italian people because, you know, that was like the floor for the Italian people. We were like all together on the same floor, but it could have been the most random person ever.
Of course. No, I mean, this is like...
And you're going to laugh at me for this, like, forever. But
No,
now it's
but-
your turn.
Yeah, of course. Mine, it's a bit like...
Serious.
Serious, yeah, of course, but still, like, as we said before, like, if you ask me what do you remember of your gap experience abroad, like, I will only mention you the most beautiful memories that I have.
Yeah, you have never actually told me anything like about that until the very moment we were like sharing the most unexpected things that happened to us.
It's true. Like, I never talk about this, but basically, for our audience, what happened is that I ended up at the hospital for 5 days. I got 2 viruses inside my body. One, because I actually got it, like, randomly somewhere, I don't know.
That's how it works.
Of course, I still have no idea. And the second one is because I went to the first aid of my university, and I was already like with temperature. They couldn't really understand what I had, and they were like, oh, you know what, but let's give you a flu shot. So
Randomly.
So it was, of course, like with the time zone and everything, my parents were asleep. I was 20 at the time, so I was like, okay, I'm like
You trusted your doctor.
to trust a doctor and like take action. I was like, okay, if you think that it's the right thing to do, let's just do it. And so I ended up with 2 viruses in my body. And yeah, I ended up at the hospital. I stayed there for 5 days. My parents had to flew from Italy to the US, because then after the 5 days at the hospital, I had to stay like 2 or 3 weeks at home, completely like
Terrible.
dead. And so basically like out of the 5 months that I was there, basically a whole month went by with me being a vegetable, I would say. And also I remember that it was the worst month where it could actually happen, because it was Halloween. And
No.
in the US, Halloween, it's not just like a week, it's like 3 weeks. So I was like in bed with high temperature, just scrolling on my social media and seeing all my friends going to so many different parties with so many different costumes. And I was like crying so much. And I remember my parents wanted to bring me back to Italy.
Understandable. I mean,
And
you are
yeah,
their daughter.
Exactly. But also I remember I was questioning myself. I was like, do I really want to stay here after like everything that is happening? Or like, should I just give up? Should I go back home? I remember feeling like so lost, and I was like, no, I have to go back to Italy.
How long after your arrival in the States was this?
2 months. Basically, I was 2 months,
So
okay.
you were just in the middle.
2 months, okay. Then 1 month dead, and then the last part was amazing. And I'm so glad that despite everything, I just decided to stay. And then, of course, also my parents let me stay, of course. But the decision had to come from my side, you know. So when they saw me uncertain, they were like, okay, we can book the next flight back to Italy and leave all together tomorrow. And I remember that I actually considered that option for a while. But then I was like, you know what? The first 2 months have been amazing. I'm sure that now, like, after these weeks are like gone, it's gonna be amazing again.
Okay.
And that is exactly what it was. So I'm so glad that I just decided to stay there. And one thing that I want to talk about now, and also then I'm gonna ask you the same thing, is I know that I grew so much because of this, you know? Because in my mind, I remember once I came back to Italy and like to normal life, exams, university, driving tests, whatever, every time I was like, I survived on the other side of the world in an hospital for 5 days before my parents arrived, because they actually arrived the last day that I was at the hospital because they couldn't find like a last minute flight. So
that must be a problem.
Yeah. So I survived there with like seeing 10 different doctors, trying to understand what was happening, because in the US, I mean, doctors in the US are like...
It's different than Italy.
It's different.
And also it was not your language.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was hectic. And every time I was thinking, and still it happens to me, to think like, I manage that completely on my own. So, like, I can manage everything, you know? And this stuck with me for so long. And I think it's beautiful, because in the end, out of like every struggle, every bad thing that can happen, you always have to find like the silver lining. So, and if you do, then you can really, I think, appreciate what you've done, how much you've grown, what you've learned, even from the bad things. So now I ask you, what do you think? Like, did you feel like stronger? Were you proud of yourself? Or like, how did you react to your situation?
You know, it's a less serious situation, so
of course,
it was probably not just because of that. I mean, it was not the only problem or a little bit challenge that I actually found while I was there. So altogether, I actually realized that, you know, you just, the point is you don't have to stop there and keep on thinking and thinking and thinking, overthinking over the same thing over and over again. Because if you do that, you're lost, you're finished. That's the end point for you.
Yeah.
And after that, you cannot live the beautiful experience that actually is waiting for you. And then you just find this point and you say, okay, I don't want it to be the end. I want to live my experience. I'm here. I have to do the best of whatever comes. And so you just get proactive. That's the point.
That's the key.
Whatever happens, just be proactive and keep on being proactive all over again, all over the experience, no matter if it's being in an hospital or if it's crying over the worst room ever.
Or losing the passport.
Or not meeting people you can talk to, or whatever it can be. Just take a moment, think about it. It's okay to think about it.
Of course, it's okay to cry, whatever.
Be proactive, and then you realize that when you come back, in our case, back to Italy, everything sounds so easy. You're a different person somehow. You're used to living in another side of the world. You're used to talking to people that have nothing to spare with you.
Yeah.
You are used to different culture. You're used to different language. You're used to different days, a routine that it's absolutely different from the one you're used to. And then you come here and you say, yes, you know, tomorrow everything could change and it's okay. I'm used to it.
Yeah.
And actually for me, it all changed since it was COVID. So
of course.
I left Italy with normal life. I went to China and the strangest life ever, came back just to be closed in for 2 years.
Yeah, and that made like even harder to like overcome the gap year sadness.
Because I was there saying, this is gonna be the year of my life. And then spoiler, COVID.
Yes. But anyway, like what I want like our viewers to take from all of these is two things.
Challenges
basically.
are good.
Three things. Okay. Challenges are good. You have to be proactive because that's really the key to overcome
Anything.
anything in life, but like in a gap experience. And third, really, you are gonna realize how grown you are.
Just after you go back.
Exactly, exactly. So every little challenge, every little thing that might come in your way, you're gonna overcome it. And once back, you're gonna realize how much you've grown, how much you can handle things yourself, how mature you are, how much you stepped outside your comfort zone. And you're gonna be so proud of yourself. And this is gonna help you like face like the future challenges that you have in life, basically.
And I know that it's difficult when you're there, but just anytime something comes your way, you just have to think about it as an opportunity, as a chance to grow, to learn.
Yeah,
That's,
absolutely.
And it's difficult while you're there, because it is.
Yeah, because like you're so into the thing, you know? You should like take a deep breath and like...
And remember just, okay, this is a moment to grow.
Yeah,
how can
like,
I do it?
Try to see things from the outside, you know? Which is something that, of course, while you're in the moment, you cannot do. But, for example, if I were to do another experience abroad now, I would totally think about it, you know? Like
I wouldn't even have to think about it. I would just leave tomorrow, book me a ticket.
No, I'm saying like if something were to happen, like something bad, whatever, I think that I would be able to just like look at things from the outside.
You know, I wouldn't think that I would be able to do it in the exact moment, but I would be, you know what, I'm going to write to Michela. She's going to help me.
No,
because
yeah,
that's going to be like the point of view that's external. It's difficult to get.
Also to ask for help to others.
You have to talk to people.
Yeah.
And not your family, because they're going to be hyper protective of you.
Yes.
Not to the people who are having the same problem as you or the same challenge as you, because they're going to be probably more into it even than us. And just find someone that knows how things goes, that's been in the same situation, and just say, look, right now it's difficult. Just tell me that it's going to be all right.
Yeah, yeah.
You just need that. If you hear someone saying it's going to be all right,
you're going to believe it.
You just take a deep breath and you're like, okay, I know it's going to be all right, because everybody's telling me that it's going to be all right. And
it actually will be. And as we said, like, we both only have amazing memories of our gap experiences.
Yes, I do have some. a lot of beautiful memories.
Okay, so I would say that we have covered everything that I had in mind for today's episode. Thank you, Erika.
Thank you.
And it was really important for me, this one, because a lot of our students we always end up talking about this with our students. So, and also like we had these experiences in the first place. So it was really important for me to share these with our audience, our future students, so that they know that they don't have to worry about these.
It's the same for me. I mean, no matter if they're going to be our students, if they're already here, if they're coming tomorrow, whatever, even if they're not our students and they're going on another gap year, I just want people to know that it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
And it's gonna be beautiful.
It is.
Okay, so thank you so much. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao!
Ciao!